Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. You're here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. Alright, continuing our, I hesitate to call it an Arpeggio collab, but that's how the kids would describe it. We're here on Hotspot in a domination match. We are top tier, I think, in the IJN Tier 7 Premium Cruiser Suzuya. And I've got Arpeggio Haguro, Arpeggio Haguro behind the wheel. Haguro, as I explained in my previous collab video, Haguro X Yahagi, is this new Arpeggio commander that has an emphasis on fire damage. And so while this match won't have the kind of damage I got in my Suzuya video, where I got 190k damage, it is going to show you some effectiveness of this commander. So relax and enjoy, especially if you're a cruiser player, especially if you have Arpeggio Haguro, because I think she's a great fit for any of these premium Japanese cruisers. Here, probably can't hit that ship without hitting the cliff in front of me, so I'm going to decline to shoot. Speaking of Arpeggio, there's an Arpeggio Musashi out there. I didn't buy any of those commanders. I only bought Haguro because look, we're in a pay-to-play game or a pay-to-win game, and if I see a commander that I think skews the table, so to speak, in my favor, I am going to pay to have a better gameplay experience. Now, granted, I don't play a ton of cruisers, but I thought Arpeggio Haguro was that OP that I decided to buy her anyway. Alright, there's our first salvo on Arpeggio Musashi. We do get some hits. Didn't set any fires or anything. We're actually not trying to set fires necessarily. The juice in this squeeze is definitely the HE damage, not the fire chance. You can spec Arpeggio Haguro for fire chance. It will severely reduce the range of your main batteries, so that's why I do not do that. But speaking of fires, we already have at least 2 fire ribbons up there and some cap defendant flags shooting at the enemy Suzuya, who probably does not have Arpeggio Haguro behind the wheel. And we get some more cap defendant flags continuing to shoot. And we're turning to get these front turrets around, continuing to do damage. And we are taking a little bit of damage in return. That's fine. I think he's going to start going forward. And I did predict that correctly. We do get some more cap defendant flags, although our shells impacted the rear of the ship. And more cap defendant flags. And Suzuya right now is taking a beating from some other opponent, no longer paying attention to me. We do throw some torpedoes out there. Obviously, they really don't have a big chance of hitting. Speaking of hitting, more green cap defendant flags. We did set another fire, and that salvo I think is going to mostly miss, although we do get more cap defendant flags. And then our last salvo as we go behind the mountain. Can we take out the enemy Suzuya? Oh, we set him on fire again, but I think he's going to be killed by someone else. And so we're just left with the bitter taste of disappointment. Alright. Looking around, kind of all on my own over here. I'm not sure. I think there might have been someone else over here with me, but they got killed. Either that or my teammates did what they always do, which is abandoned me to my own devices. Either way, we're going to push up the side of the map here. And yes, I have attracted the attention of the carrier. And I want to say we have the fighter plane loaded for a reason. Now maybe it might be the only mod slot option. But this ship doesn't have strong AA. Not that I recall. So I wouldn't count on that AA to do anything. Here we're turning to make ourselves a tougher target to hit. and it works. We are able to turn away. And there are some enemy ships up on the horizon, but we can't shoot at any of them. So instead we'll have to shoot down some enemy airplanes. We're going to reverse our turn back into the island and dodge an incoming salvo from the Bismarck. Well, we are going to have a running battle with the Bismarck, folks. I probably should have named this video Suzuya versus Bismarck. We are going to expose our broadside here in order to get some torpedoes off, in theory. Salvo number 1, we are going to work in a main battery salvo here somewhere, please, somewhere. Alright, because Bismarck is turning in, actually. We will fire our full salvo and then totally miss for the most part. Firing again as the Bismarck turns back in. Here are some more carrier-based airplanes. So we're going to continue our turn. We do set Bismarck on fire. Bismarck turning back out. We are continuing to shoot and continuing to dodge carrier-based aircraft. This is essentially a 1 versus 2 right now. So really we're going to try to avoid being struck by torpedoes, while at the same time I'm going to try to avoid taking big damage from Bismarck. We do set the Bismarck on fire again. And another salvo out as we're continuing to shoot down enemy aircraft. We've dodged the torpedoes. Unfortunately for us, we don't set any fires there. So we're going to turn all the way back around here to get all of our turrets on target. And I think we luckily avoided a bomb drop there as well. Bismarck is now running away. He's shooting with his rear turrets. We get a full salvo off. We do take a torpedo strike from the carrier. Actually, maybe 2 torpedo strikes. And we are still able to shoot at the Bismarck, who is running away. Meanwhile, looking up at the scoreboard, our team has 4 kills. The enemy team has 2. Set the Bismarck on fire again. It's basically been me versus the Bismarck and sometimes the carrier here so far. And some more HE damage, and of course the enemy Suzuya at the beginning of the match, which we did not get a kill on. Alright, so our team's having a lead. We are dodging incoming fire for the most part. I turn on my sonar for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I thought somebody was shooting torpedoes at me. There appears to be a ship in the smoke screen. So we're going to launch a couple sets of torpedoes that way. And then we can see the evil enemy red team ships trying to come around the corner of the island here. Bismarck no longer visible. But this ship, which is a Massachusetts, poses something referred to as a clear and present danger to the health of my ship, especially with the secondaries. Unfortunately, he's also hiding pretty good behind the remainder of that landmass, so we're going to have to dodge. We do get 3 torpedo strikes, and then a teammate behind me really damages the mass. So we're going to use the island against him and continue our turn. Hopefully, he's aiming somewhere else, and he gets taken out before we can get dev struck. Alright, another enemy ship coming in here. That is Arpeggio Musashi. We are going to wait until he or she, I guess, is clear of the island. Salvo number 1, salvo number 2. By turning, we mitigate most of that damage coming in. And all of that damage, which totally missed. But Arpeggio Musashi has also turned in, so I do not anticipate any of those torpedoes are going to hit their target. Meanwhile, we are back attracting the attention of the carrier. Our friendly blue team battleship, I guess it's a battleship? I don't know, it kind of looks like a cruiser. Oh, it was a battleship. Anyway, Birdie, he went broadside. He is dead. That is not a shocker. He didn't block any of my torpedoes, so I'm not mad at him, but I just would have gone for the ram there instead of just going broadside, hoping to get a kill. Anyway, we set the Musashi on fire right before he is taken out by my teammate. So resetting the game, we have lost 3 ships. The enemy team only has 3 ships remaining. We have just over a 220-point lead, and the caps are tied at 2 apiece. So even though I'm not building in a fire setting chance, we haven't displayed any issue in terms of setting fire here with Arpeggio Haguro. I'm probably going to make that mistake for the rest of my life. Arpeggio Haguro hasn't displayed any detriment to the fire setting chance. We've done over 100,000 damage. I think that's okay in this match. We got a Harbin, the aircraft carrier, and the Bismarck remaining. And we haven't had a ton of support. At the very most, we had 1 other ship over here supporting us, so pretty good job of survivability, in my opinion, dealing with a Bismarck and the aircraft carrier right after we did not get the kill on the Suzuya. So again, this isn't going to approach my 190k game in the Suzuya. I link that somewhere in that drop-down thingamabobber that'll notify you of a link. So if you want to check that out and you haven't done so before, please do so. In that match, I want to say I was running away the entire time from the enemy team and just kiting and shooting HE. I think this commander would have piled up the damage in that game. Here we've reacquired the Bismarck and we're shooting HE. Basically, I don't know if this is a recommended tactic in a Japanese cruiser, but basically I'm going to start bow tanking the Bismarck. And I know that seems like something you shouldn't do, but I'm going to show you here it's going to be relatively effective. And whether that's just dumb luck or whatever, that I can't answer for you. I want to say we did spot the aircraft carrier there. I believe he's a little too far away for me to engage, so I'm not really wasting my time with that. I am going to try to shoot torpedoes here at Bismarck as we continue to move forwards toward him, but I don't want to expose my side until after he shoots. So he just shot right there, a little too far away from my liking, I think, but maybe, are we going to go all the way around? We set him on fire. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go around the world. And we are, if you know the other meaning for around the world, you might laugh at that. We're going to go around the world here and drop 2 sets of torpedoes at Bismarck, shoot the rear turrets of HE at him, and then we're going to continue our turn as his return salvo ends up haplessly far away from our ship, and put the other 2 sets of torpedoes out and hope that he turns into the other set. And it looks like he's probably going to. He's full broadside. We just hit him with some more HE. We're up over 113,000 damage. And we're turning back so he can't get a good angle at my ship. And I think that's kind of what you have to do. Oh, we took a ton of damage there. And maybe if I had been worse about some of my maneuvering, we wouldn't even be alive right now. But anyway, we set him on fire again. And look at that. He runs into a torpedo. There is the end of the match. Hooray. Alright, we got some milestones. Yes, I already got this ship. Blah, blah, blah. Here we are on the victory screen. Is that a dreadnought medal? I guess so. I can't really even see it. And we also got 130,078 total damage. 4 torpedo strikes. We set 11 fires and had 10 cap defended flags. We ended up with over 500,000 silver and over 7,500 ship XP and commander XP in the Suzuya. Yeah, I hate to say it. Either my glasses are super dirty or my vision has deteriorated to the point to where I can't even see the names of the medals anymore. By the way, here we are on the top of the board. 1 medal, 1 big kill, 2752 base XP, leading the way for our team. And all in all, I say that that's pretty good for Arpeggio Haguro. All right, here we're just looking at her in the port again. If you weren't involved in the first video, base trait increased the HE shell fire chance and also the main battery range. We built into that with Kuznetsov for more main battery range and D'Artige du Fournet for HE shell damage. And then over here in row number 1, beyond range, adding to the main battery range. Row 2, we went with full speed ahead. Row 3, unique skill Hellfire for HE shell pen and HE shell damage. And row number 4, fixated, and then of course fully packed. So that is, oh, by the way, Igniter and Burn It Down XXL. I just think you lose too much main battery range. Because right now our main battery range is 19, and I think here I'm going to show you what it drops to if you select those other skills, or maybe I won't, but it goes down to about 16, and I just don't think that is a worthy trade-off. So if I were you and I had Arpeggio Haguro, I would build into the HE damage and not the fire chance. Just my 2 cents. Anyway, don't forget to hit that like button. I'll see you next time.